Oh, we lost connection. Are we back? Somebody confirm we're back. We have Jesse, previously beaten how many times by the police? 3 times. All on the head too, right?
Twice in the head, once kick in the ribs, wake me up.
It's a good thing they hit you in the head, huh?
Not really, it's slowing me down a lot.
I'm just kidding, brother. So, Occupy San Francisco is alive and kicking. We don't need help from what we understand is a co-option by unions and people trying to squash the Occupy movement or draw whatever funding and money they can into their own campaigning.
Enslave the corporate agenda to keep you down, ignorant, enslaved, and cannon fodder. You don't have any rights under the Constitution of the corporation. They are now the people that rule. The people. They're persons. You let the Supreme Court get away with calling them persons, like your baby, like your grandparents, like you yourself and your lover. I don't accept that. They're not people. They don't bleed. They don't love. They don't have compassion or any humanness about them. And yet, we have a country run by multinational corporations.
This country is
transnational, multi-jurisdictional corporations that nobody can attack.
Fuck you!
Legal ability to have standing in the entire world.
Screw the world.
Yeah, you have to have a lawyer and somebody who's been affected in each and every corner of the world to have.
You all been eaten by the corporation. They're brainwashing your ass.
They're people, just like you. They have all the rights you have, except they got all the money and they're buying the property. They're privatizing the world, and you will get to pay for it. I myself, I'd rather be on the streets than be a slave.
I'd rather be on the streets than a slave.
Once again, we don't have homeless.
The corporations that come home every night to feed their families. Where I'm from, if you're a mom and mother, you come home to feed your home.
We are free to speak our minds, learn at will, create at will, eat, fuck, shit, go anywhere we want at will. We don't need a paycheck to scratch our asses. We don't need a paycheck to build something. We don't need a paycheck to learn something. And we sure as fuck don't need a paycheck to do this. We don't need a permit to do this. Once again, JOB stands for Join Occupy, bonehead. So when anyone tells us to get a job, we can tell them we already took care of it. We have an occupation that is working beautifully. But there are plenty more positions open, ready to be filled. Once again, asserting your rights and upholding the Constitution is not disturbing the peace, but utterly ensuring it. Bring the representatives and the CEOs to justice. Free Bradley Manning for telling the truth that they are now keeping him in a torture prison. The same thing with all of our brothers and sisters and children in the Middle East. Get them the fuck out of prison for existing. This is not acceptable.
Get your hand out of your ass, my friend.
Stop hating our culture. Please do something.
End the war. Bring our
No
children
matter
home.
what that is, but a show of good faith. See that you understand your rights are untouchable.
You're right.
They are for you to enjoy as you see fit.
Put the must die on and scream on the top of your lungs.
the self-determination ability. Enslavement, you do not. Figure it out, please. And unless you're fucking congressmen endlessly get them to understand you are not going to uphold NDAA, the Patriot Act. Federal Reserve getting away with taking $16 trillion, twice the national debt amount, and not paying it back. For stealing it, period. For existing, period.
Occupy.
Corporations are not people. In this country, which is about freedom, and we are going to maintain that, you can only be as greedy as you reach the point where you have the ability to use your greed to subvert anyone's rights. I'm pretty sure that's the reason we need a maximum wage. We need to install a maximum wage for people. Better yet, we need to completely rein in the economic system, period. We have all kinds of answers. And we will not stop talking about them because we want to, have the right to, and don't give a fuck what some idiot thinks.
Yes, I am directing traffic myself. When cars come down here, I tell them, you need to move over. Yeah, I'm occupying. I'm a filmmaker. I'm with Occupy. You need to move over. Thank you. Normally I have somebody covering my back when I'm going this way. Yes, AZ Critter, I can give you a recap of what's going on here. This is day 5 of Reoccupy San Francisco. We have occupied 101 Market in front of the Federal Reserve. And this is day 5 of a 24-hour-a-day contingent of people that are rotating shifts, or even some of them staying 24 hours a day for 5 days straight.
I will hug you into the ground and then make you feel sorry that I had to do that. If that's what you need for me to get hold of you. That's why I'm called the Scud.
America's greatest natural resource.
And AZ Critter, if I might add to that, not only am I filming this here, I've been an embedded reporter with Occupy San Francisco since October 10th.
I will check your hearing and processing capabilities if you require.
And I have a channel that has archived stuff on it, Occupy Liberty, on live stream. I wouldn't call it fresh news but there was a large meeting of Occupy movement throughout the California region, and they have determined that there is a significant number of co-option by the unions that are more or less sucking the life, if they would, which they won't, out of Occupy. And we got sirens coming. I'm going to get out of the street. Oh, never mind. Anyway, back to what I was reporting on there. AZ Critter, you're welcome. These are original occupiers from the first time around at 555. They moved over here to the Federal Reserve, and then we expanded to Justin Herman Plaza. Once again, this is Legal Counsel Bell Starr, original occupier from September 17th, 2011. And a lot of other occupiers here that were here then, and you know, we've taken back our space. We're not leaving. There's been food brought to us. We could still use donations monetarily on the internet or in person. You can stop by here. There are donation jars. And, you know, the thing is like I was saying, the unions have been trying to co-opt the movement, and they're basically lying to their union personnel, the rank and file. And let me get a little more detail on this from Bell.
Rank and file, we have a working group with rank and files because we know that they're unhappy with having their pensions squandered and all their money taken.
Raul,
For the benefit of the leaders of their movement. So, hey,
thank you.
Are the leaders the only ones that get to live well?
Are the leaders the only ones that get to live well? Well, it seems in this day and age that, you know, if you become a leader, you become corrupt because you can do whatever you want at that point.
Well, I was going to do a comment that says, well, it's very hard to bite the hand that feeds you. And then an occupier says, not if you have no income or anything feeding you.
Yeah, then you can
bite away.
Exactly. You know, that's the funny thing. How many times will it take before that dog you kick to turn around and bite you? You know?
Well, exactly. I know people have jobs and everything, and it's hard for them to go against their source of income. But the way to not have that problem is to have no income. We don't need income. What we need is a way of transferring value one to another without destroying the earth right now. We have nothing but debt notes. Debt notes for oil, debt notes for commodities to make cell phones, all the rare elements and all the rest of it. These are things that don't belong to us, no matter how much money we pay for them. We die, we don't take them with us. They're for the next generation, for the third generation down the line, for the fifth, for the seventh. It's not ours to keep. It's not ours to destroy, for sure.
So, can you give me a little more details on your meeting today with the other councils, I guess it would be, for Occupy in the California region?
Well, a number of different Occupies had people show up for a meeting in Sacramento to discuss the co-option by things like nonprofits. Nonprofits can't be on our side. They're corporate persons. They won't tell you that, though. Same thing with the labor. The labor unions have been given the same personhood in the same case as Citizens United. So, how can they actually be doing anything except getting our energy to get what they want? They don't want, the kids don't want to pay their loans back. Well, I understand that they're overbearing, but when you enter into something, you've got to have some cojones to say that you owe it. Now, we can redefine what that owing is. Maybe you go to the Peace Corps. Everything's forgiven. Maybe you feed the poor. Everything's forgiven. Maybe you go work at a reservation and help people. All's forgiven. This is called a nation that does these things, that stands up and volunteers. We're Yankees. We can do anything. We can solve any problem.
We can't solve problems, definitely. So the unions are trying to co-opt the movement. The nonprofits are trying to co-opt the movement. Sounds like people that have an opportunity to actually help people have become corrupt within the system itself of greed and power.
Look at the people on these nonprofit boards. Who are they? Where'd they come from? And what are they invested in now? You'll be surprised. They come from globalists, big oil, big finance, and they have these nice little companies while they're on these nonprofit boards. And their little companies do things like oil, finance, microfinance. Oh, it sounds so cool, doesn't it? You help poor women in third world countries, and you give them a loan so they can do their basket weaving or something at, let's be kind, 22% interest. And let's give them a credit card at 29% interest. Doesn't that sound cool? You know what happens after 2 or 3 years? They commit suicide.
Because they can't pay it off because they're being charged more than they're making.
That's right. Or the 50% on their debt is insane. People have to be given a way to have dignity. whether it's immigration or student loans or anything. Illegal immigration. Well, come on. The reason it's called illegal is because it's illegal. But people need a way, of a dignified way of stepping up and saying, I'm a member of this society. Not constantly vilified, not run around because they have to take a job and put up with what somebody says because they'll get turned in, or any of that. They have to have the dignity that they're not being just fluffed off, they don't have to pay anything, it doesn't mean anything, or they have to be oppressed. There's a middle path, and it's called giving them back their humanity, being full-fledged members of our society.
Right. Well, I agree with you, Bill, and I just wanted to let you know that AZ Critter on here has appreciative of the exposing of the truth, and I'm just here to help share the truth. It's not just me exposing, it's me sharing it with you. I've been doing my own digging, and I've come to the same conclusion. And Belle Starr here has done a wonderful job exposing what she has found out from the meeting in Sacramento with a lot of other Occupy movements. And I also have a comment on here from, I can't say it, Darin, oh, yeah, anyway. Is that a bad thing? Occupy is about showing the inequality so others can fix things.
There's so much inequality, and sometimes that's a personal viewpoint. But yes, the inequalities at the grand scale are so immense that we've been like deer in the headlight. And now we have an opportunity with Occupy to get our senses back and take the horns and hooves and kick the corruption out.
Right. Well, as long as we keep working together and put our differences behind us.
And making sure we're consistently the answer to COINTELPRO, amongst other things.
Well, we don't want chaos.
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
That's where the problem it comes. You know, some people think that the system is so bad that chaos is better. And that doesn't give us our human dignity. That has us going at each other's throats, and then the strongest wins. And that's Machiavellian. That comes from a work called The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli. And it's a letter to a prince upon his ascending to the throne. And it tells him essentially to take and make examples of some people so that the rest will feel grateful that they can live in peace by not being oppressed. And then they monitor their own actions so that they don't speak out, they don't pay for their homes, because if you have a home, you have all this responsibility. What they do is they'll rent forever, let somebody else be in charge. It's a world, think about it, corporations are limited liability. I'm a human being, I have full liability. If I cut myself, I'm going to bleed and I'll have a scar. With a corporation, they cut me, I bleed, I have a scar, they go, I have limited liability.
Oh, they learned how to hide behind the fucking curtain, did they? Well, guess what? We're burning them down, motherfuckers!
Well, I just want to let you guys know.
Metaphorically and philosophically, of course.
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know we have quite a few viewers in here, and AZ Critter's been commenting again, and AZ Critter, yeah, he's been following Tim Pool in New York. Tim Pool is a major inspiration to the Occupy movement as far as journalism goes. He has done a significant amount of work on the East Coast, and not very many people know me. I am following Tim as well. I'm sorry?
What I want to say is about the injunction that we have.
Oh, an injunction.
That we're about ready to file, a declaratory action with injunction. And after today's meeting, I'm hoping that several Occupies in California will implead themselves into the action so that we can do something and go forward and enlarge the jurisdiction of the issues. Right now we're keeping it to this strange sit-lie ordinance, which apparently is around at different places. There was a model drawn up that they think will pass muster, but we're going to have it declared unconstitutional because all the Occupies know that it's been used against us, while others across the street here in San Francisco, don't worry, they can sleep all day long.
All documentation to prove they are going to get raped in the courtroom.
We have a video showing a sergeant of the police here saying that they were told specifically to enforce it against Occupy from the mayor and the chief of police.
And for so much, I mean, think about
selective
Selective prosecution.
Selective prosecution, abusive discretion or discretionary abuse. This is going to be great, man, because then it's going to be like telling people it's no longer a myth or something you see in a comic. How fucking great does the idea of taking cops to court sound on a regular fucking basis? Not only that, but taking them for your rights. Taking them because you're going to be getting money out of their sorry asses. Not only are you going to get money from them, but they may begin to seriously question whether or not they want to continue doing things the way they do them. And that is how we're...
Well, let me say, we're not going in there to get money. We're going in there to get an order.
Yeah.
But I'm preserving the rights of the individuals involved to go after money if they want it.
It's not for sale.
Right.
Yes, they did.
These weapons, these are, excuse me, these are the weapons: education and truth, transparency and accountability, and a voice.
Medium for truth.
And peace.
Can I just say something to him?
Him or her?
Sorry, I don't know. I apologize, I don't know. I'm talking to a fucking camera.
I love women.
And Darn added for all people. Go ahead.
I was going to say something. What was it? It was...
I'm supposed to know what you were going to say?
No, when Eden showed us that, you weren't fucking there. Whether it was Norway or some part of Scandinavia, Greenland, Iceland, that one that is really fucking excelling at education, their education system, they don't have a word for accountability. They have word for responsibility, but that just goes to denote the cultural impact of these banking and economic realities. Once again, Aristotle. Go read that shit. What happened to Rome? What happened to Greece? What happened to Egypt? So many things. We are going to cleanse the fucking misery, the world of misery. We're not going to ethnically cleanse it. We're going to cleanse it of its misery by these economic, political oppression realities.
For instance, homeschooling, I think personally, is great. I think the flaw is that it's expected that the parents will know enough to be a great teacher at all the subjects. No, I've lived